Hello again, everybody. My name is Mike Petraglia, joined once again by Josue Pavon, and this is the Garden Report off-season edition for CLNS Media and Celtics blog, powered by FanDuel. Josue, one of the topics I want to talk about tonight, with the beautiful city of Boston as our backdrop, is JAYSON Tatum. And I think,
of course you do.
JAYSON Tatum, I think, is going to be arguably the most important rookie to make his debut in Celtics green in the last generation, going back to Reggie Lewis as far as 1987, when Reggie Lewis was a first-round, 22nd overall pick for the Celtics back then. He was joining an NBA champion back at that time, and certainly a team that was competing year in, year out for an NBA title. I think you go back as far as Larry Bird in 1980 and Kevin McHale in 1981 to find an impact rookie with so much on his shoulders going into a season.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I love that comparison, Trax, because this is a first-round rookie, a top-3 pick who's going to be going to a team that's looking for championship aspirations. And just like in the same situation with Larry Bird, Reggie Lewis, I mean, Reggie Lewis is probably the last one, so I love that comparison. He's expected to deliver right away. However, I think in this scenario, it's very similar because he's not expected to be a top 1-2 guy, but I think he can determine how far the Celtics will go within the next couple of years.
I think JAYSON Tatum, Josue, is going to be probably the fourth best scoring option when you look at it going into the season, behind the obvious ones of Gordon Hayward, Kyrie Irving, and Al Horford.
Agreed, 100%. But unlike the other rookies who are going to a team that, you know, is just hoping to make the playoffs, whether we're talking about the Philadelphia 76ers or whether we're talking about another lottery team, this is a team that's built to compete in the East right away, and I think that you hit it right on the head there. Third, fourth option within the next couple of years as he blossoms. I think that's how good the Celtics will be as well.
And you know why, Josue, I don't think the Celtics and Danny Ainge and Brad Stevens are worried about it? Because JAYSON Tatum comes from the Duke pedigree, and obviously Kyrie Irving does too. But JAYSON Tatum has been in big pressure games for the Duke Blue Devils. He knows what it's all about, and I think making the move here to the Celtics with as much as going to be on his plate and all of the expectations that are going to be there, I don't think it's going to faze him.
I don't think so either, Trax. I think he's ready for this. I think, you know, the fact that the Celtics traded away the #1 overall pick to get him shows how much they loved him. They loved him from the beginning of this draft process. They went out and got him. He has the tool. He certainly passed the eye test. I mean, we saw what he did in Summer League. I know it's just Summer League, but we're talking about a guy with tons of athleticism, can get to the rim, can hit the mid-range jump shot, has the extension that's very hard to defend in the NBA. And I think he's a very promising player for this Celtics team, along with the rest of the NBA draft class. I mean, he's right up there.
Two other rookies, I'm sure Celtics fans out there are going like, hey, Trags, Josue, Paul Pierce, 1998.
Right, completely different situation.
Completely different situation. First of all, people forget Paul Pierce's rookie year was in the strike-shortened year, the labor stoppage year of 1988-1999, when they played such a shortened schedule. And the Celtics were not a good team that year. They were not a playoff team. And then you think about Jaylen Brown. I think Jaylen Brown will play a big role, obviously, in his second year, but certainly Jaylen Brown didn't have as much on his shoulders as JAYSON Tatum last year as JAYSON Tatum will this year.
And he's also a much different player. I mean, when Jaylen Brown was selected, we didn't look at Jaylen Brown as a guy who was going to contribute offensively. Completely different story with JAYSON Tatum. This is a guy who has the weapons to be a great offensive player in the NBA. Whether it's year 1 or year 2, I think it's safe to say he's going to have a bright future in this league.
All right, I want to move on real quickly, Josue, to the positioning of Al Horford and whether or not it really matters. Does it really matter whether or not Al Horford is playing the 4 or the 5 if he's starting as the center for the Celtics? Because remember, as Brad Stevens said in the offseason, shortly after being eliminated by the Cavaliers, he essentially looks at the NBA as 3 positions: ball handler, a swing, and a big.
This is a positionless league. I mean, he said it before. We've heard it in the past. We look at other teams like the Golden State Warriors. I mean, it's not necessarily a prototypical center that you have to have in order to win an NBA title. I see Al Horford as the center of this team, the last line of defense, Marcus Morris in front of him, and then in the backcourt you have guys like Marcus Smart, Jaylen Brown. We have to figure out how this team's going to coexist defensively, but I think those are the guys that you're going to see as some of the top defenders on this team.
Whether or not Al Horford plays the center or plays the 4, it really doesn't matter. I think he's going to have a lot of the offense is going to have to go through him.
Correct, just like we saw last year. Exactly. Same situation for Al Horford. Not much has changed for his role. It's going to be the guys around him that's going to dictate how things go on both ends of the floor, I feel like.
All right, Josue, isn't it great to have the city of Boston behind us and thinking we're going to have basketball at TD Garden just less than a month away on October 2nd when the preseason gets underway with a game against the Charlotte Hornets. Of course, the season opener is October 17th in Cleveland. We'll have you covered on CLNS Media. This has been the Garden Report off-season edition, powered by FanDuel.